Today's debate, why do skateboarders hate scooter riders so much? Now, I'm going to do my best not to sound biased right now. I am a professional scooter rider for those of you guys that don't know, but I also skateboard a little bit as well. I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've been to a lot of skate parks to where I've seen so many different scenarios to where they work out one way or they work out the other way, so I'm going to do my best not to be that guy right now. Also, if you guys have a different opinion about this subject, go down in the comments below and let us know. Let us know what you guys feel about it. I'd love to hear your guys' comments. And obviously, I'm not right. I'm just saying what I think about it. I'm just voicing my own opinion about this whole thing. There's bound to be a lot of skateboarders, a lot of scooter riders, a lot of BMX riders that are going to go down in the comments and say I'm stupid and just talk crap on me. That's totally fine. But, again, I'm just voicing my opinion. Anyways, back on track. Why do skateboarders hate scooter riders so much, or why do I think they do? And we all kind of know what the average, I guess you could say, answer is, and it's because scooter riders get in the way. That's the whole perception about everything, is that scooter riders just get in the way. Now, I don't think that's just the case, because I've been on both sides. Like I said, I've seen a lot of skateboarders that have been trying to get a clip, or they're just trying to ride a ledge or a quarter, whatever the case may be, and a scooter rider, like a scooter kid, gets in the way. But I've also seen scooter riders that have been riding. I've been a scooter that's been riding, and a skateboarder kid or a scooter kid or a BMX kid goes in my way, and I don't really get super upset about it, but it happens. Now, the uniform term there, kid. Normally it's kids, but skateboarders have taken the image of a scooter rider as a scooter kid, and they've just applied that to everybody. Now, I don't think that's right, but who am I? This is not just a video that's bashing on skateboarders whatsoever, because I've seen a lot of scooter riders even get super pissed off at smaller scooter kids because they get in the way. Now, is it right? Is it right for a lot of older guys to get mad at little kids? Absolutely not. Because we were all those little kids at one point, whether you're a skateboarder, whether you ride BMX, whether you ride rollerblades, whether you ride a scooter, we were all there. I know for a fact that at one point I was getting in everybody's way at the skate park, but I had a lot of people that kind of taught me when to go, when not to go, where to go if somebody else was riding, to avoid people that were trying to ride this one certain spot and they were filming that. Just don't go there. And I know that kind of sounds like, it sounds ridiculous, because you're thinking like, hey, somebody else is riding a spot in a skate park. Why should the kid just not go there? Now, I'm not saying that the kid should just not go. That's just what I was taught when I was younger, and it kind of taught me to basically just do my best to kind of keep out of the way, keep out of the situation. Bleh. Do I think that's the solution? Not really. Like, you can definitely go and ride a spot and be out of everybody's way. Just make sure you take your turn. Now, me personally, I don't think that the little tiny kids that are riding through the parks and getting in the way, I don't think that they're right, but I also don't think that they're wrong, because again, we've all been there. We've all been learning. They're just at that point right now. As a professional athlete, as well as a positive influencer on kids, I think it's more so my responsibility to go to that kid that's either getting in the way or just getting yelled at or whatever it is, whether it's on a scooter, whether it's on a skateboard, whether it's on a bike, rollerblades, whatever it is. I think it's more so my responsibility to tell that kid, hey man, that guy's trying to ride really quick. You might just want to stay out of his way for a little bit, let him do his thing. And then after he's done, you can go and just ride. Because I've seen a lot of kids that just stand on a ledge, and I've been the one that goes over and say, hey man, they're trying to ride, so can you just watch out for just a couple minutes? And it's really easy to do it. It's really easy to do it correctly and not come off as rude. Like I just said, hey man, that guy's trying to ride that rail. Can you please just watch out for just a couple minutes, or just keep your eye on him? It's that simple. But a lot of people don't really understand that. Now, again, I'm a professional athlete, so why do I think that it's more so my responsibility? I think it's more so my responsibility because I'm not 14, 15, 16 years old. Because at 14, 15, 16, even up to 17 years old, sometimes even older, a lot of guys think that they're right, and that's it. I was at that age when I was 15 years old. I just knew it all. My mom didn't know anything. My dad didn't know anything. All the older guys at the skate park didn't know anything. I was all-knowing. Now, I think that's kind of annoying sometimes, but it's human nature, so there's not really much I can do about it. The only thing that I can really do about it is try to kind of say, hey man, like, these kids, they're trying to ride just like you are. Just tone it down a little bit, because a lot of guys, they lose their cool really quickly, but as you get older, you kind of learn how to hold your composure a little bit better. That's a trait that you can't really just tell somebody to do it. They have to personally learn how, they have to adapt and just kind of grow. scootering it has an image that it's all just little kids on scooters, and that's not true. Obviously, I'm walking proof, and a lot of you guys that are watching this video know that there are a ton of different professional scooter riders. A lot of you guys that are watching this video, probably like 70% of you can name 10 professional scooter riders right now. But I've met a lot of skateboarders that have no idea that there's possibilities of becoming a professional scooter rider, or they have no idea that you could do a flip or even more than one tail up. I met a guy a week ago that just said you can be a professional scooter rider, or he's never seen a professional scooter rider or somebody that was as good as I was. And it's not really like a rare thing. The reason I bring that up is because a lot of these guys that are riding bikes or whatever, the older kids, they think that these kids on scooters are just, they're trying to adapt them to becoming a skateboarder or a BMX rider. And that's not necessarily the case. A lot of these times these kids are practicing to become professional scooter riders like myself or Ryan Williams or whoever it is that they watch. I don't know if a lot of these older guys are just trying to kill these kids' hopes in becoming something like that, and they want them to become a skateboarder or a bike rider or whatever it is. And I don't know if that's exactly what they're trying to do, or if they're just getting that upset to where they lose their cool that quickly and they start yelling at an 8-year-old kid on a scooter. I don't know which one it is, but I'm really hoping that it's neither one of those. But I know it's gotta be. So I'm assuming that they're just losing their cool, because I wouldn't understand if somebody was really trying to sell somebody on a hobby like skateboarding. I wouldn't understand if they were yelling at them and hoping that they would follow them. I wouldn't understand that. But hey, I don't know. One of the weirdest parts about it too is a lot of the times the people that are cool with scootering and the kids that are on scooters and they understand it, it's those guys that are really, really good at what they do. It's a lot of pro skaters. Now I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of pro skaters, they get it. Like they're all there to do the same thing. And they're cool with kids that are on scooters. The kids that sometimes get in their way, they'll move, or they'll just swerve out of their way. Or sometimes if they run into them, they're cool about it, like, hey man, are you all right? And those are the guys that I respect the most. And I think those are the guys that everybody respects the most. A lot of the guys that lose their cool on scootering, I don't know if they're trying to look cool or something like that in front of their peers, but I don't think that comes off as cool. I think that makes you look ridiculous. 95% of the time, those kids that are going to the skate park that are getting yelled at, usually those kids are looking up to those people prior to them getting yelled at by that person. So let's say there's a 10-year-old kid on a scooter and he's at the skate park and he's watching this skateboarder who's doing amazing things in the air, whether he's riding a vert ramp or he's just cruising throughout the skate park, riding a ledge. He's usually looking up to that person saying like, wow, that guy's amazing, he's incredible, he's good at what he does, and he's usually terrified to go up to you and even say good job. When that person that's riding, in the off chance that they are really good and they do happen to be a jerk, when they yell at that kid is he's just terrified. He doesn't know what he did wrong. That guy just freaks out at him, and he's a little kid, and he'll remember that for the rest of his life. I remember at one point there was a guy named Jason Fry. Now Jason, he was a professional scooter rider, and I was just a little kid, and I had probably gotten in his way a couple of times, and by the time I had finally worked up the amount of confidence that I needed to go up to him and say, hey man, my name is Raymond, I like what you're doing, you're amazing. He just totally blew me off, wrecked me, and I remember that for the rest of my life. But those kids that usually do get put into that situation, they grow up to remember that just like I did for the rest of their lives. And those people that are targeted, they grow up to not be like that whatsoever. So it's almost a good thing. These people that are getting yelled at, it's almost a good thing, because it's slowly killing that breed of people that are just freaking out. I feel like I'm kind of getting off topic here, but let's go back to why I think skateboarders hate scooter riders. It's because the smaller kids on scooters have no skate park etiquette. They don't have it, and we understand that. We, as a whole, as anybody that rides action sports, they've related the fact that kids on scooters don't understand skate park etiquette. But again, that's not just scooter kids, it's skateboarder kids. I've had many times where I've been at the skate park and I've gone to drop in, or I've been trying to film a clip for the past hour and a half, and there's the same exact kid. I don't understand sometimes to where, like, I'll drop in and I'll go to do a jump and that kid is in the exact same spot every single time, but he'll come in from a different area. And I get it, but at the same time, like, I get to a point where I get frustrated, and that's human nature. That's totally fine. I'm allowed to get upset, but I'm not allowed to yell at that kid. That's not okay. I can go up and be like, hey man, could you just hang on just a couple minutes? And I do it all the time. I go to the skate park, I'll try to do something, kid will get in my way. I'll be like, hey man, could you please just watch out for just a couple minutes? And that's super easy to do. Now there's no confrontation. That kid doesn't hate me for the rest of his life. I don't hate that kid. Nothing came out. I don't look like a jerk. I don't look like an idiot. And that was easy to do. A lot of times I'll drop in at a skate park. I'll go and I'll air out as high as I possibly can at my local park out of this 8-foot quarter. I'll get like 7 or 8 above coping. I land, and as I'm coming down, I see a kid coming into one of the smaller ramps. Now, I understand that could be an issue very quickly. So I tell that kid, hey man, could you please just wait until I get back, because I go a little bit higher, and if I come down and I hit you, we're gonna have a problem just because I might hurt you because I'm a lot bigger than this kid. Now, that helped us in 2 different ways. One, that kid now understands, okay, I shouldn't go behind anybody when they're going. I should just wait until he gets back and I see that the skate park is completely open. Then it's my turn, then I can go. Number 2, I didn't hurt the kid. He now understands if I do go behind him and he hits me, I'm gonna get really, really hurt because I'm small. Now, that is so effective, but a lot of people don't try that because they lose their cool really quickly. A lot of times, again, it's those 14, 15, 16-year-old kids because they lack maturity, and it's human nature. But once they actually grow, they'll start to realize, like, okay, maybe I can try this. And I hope that some of you guys that are watching this, if you guys do lose your cool on scooter kids or just kids in general, I hope that you guys do understand that if you just approach them a different way, that can go a long way. Just go up to them and be like, hey man, just giving a kid knuckles. Give him knuckles. Boom. You know how much that changes their outlook on you? I remember being a little kid and just getting knuckles from somebody. Now, at that point, I was like, dude, stay out of his way. He's cool. He's a cool dude. And even nowadays, if there's a jerk at the skate park and he's just messing with little kids, I'll go up to him and I'll say something slight. I'm not trying to start a fight or anything. But then, if he just doesn't take anything into consideration, none of these kids are good enough for him, and he's just being a jerk. Now I'm gonna get in your way, just to show you that, dude, I'm a human. I'll get in your way. You're not gonna yell at me because I'm the same size as you, if not bigger. Then they understand, dude, everybody gets in everybody's way. I get in people's way still to this day. I've gotten in people's way, but I have the confidence to say, hey man, my bad. I apologize. These kids don't have that yet. They're just little kids. Again, these are kids on skateboards. These are kids on bikes. These are kids on, if you're at a track, these are kids on motorcycles. These are kids just obviously kids on scooters. They don't have that confidence just yet, so it raises an issue. I'm not a parent yet. I know I'm gonna be one day, but I'm not yet. When I do become a parent, I'll even understand more of what I don't understand now, of just things I don't know, and I'm looking forward to that. When I look into certain situations differently, and I know like a lot of parents that are watching this right now, a lot of you guys probably understand where I'm coming from. I don't know a lot of things when it comes to parenthood. I've seen parents go into certain situations, kind of like this one, like relating to this, that I didn't even know of, that were even more effective than some of the things that I do, and I've used those things. For example, just saying like, hey man, give me knocks really quick. I learned that from a parent at a skate park one day that was actually riding a skateboard, and there was another kid that was freaking out on a scooter kid, but that parent went up to that kid and was like, hey man, how you doing, dude? Hope you're having a good day. How's your sesh going? And he was like, hey, see that skater right over there? He's coming through and he's going really fast. Just watch out for him. Maybe you can come right over here for a couple minutes, and then once he's done, you can go back over there, do your thing. And the kid just thought, he just sat there and he was like, okay, cool, I can do that. And he went, did his thing, rode his scooter, and the skater that was trying to do the trick that he was trying to do on the ledge, I think it was, he did his trick, left. Scooter kid went over there, rode the ledge for a little bit, and that was it. There was no problems at all. Everybody was happy. Skater got to do his trick. He moved on with his day. The kid that was riding the scooter, he didn't get yelled at. He went over and did his thing afterwards, and it was like all within like 3 minutes. It was done. Do I think skateboarders will ever stop hating scooters? Probably not. Because scootering, for me right now, I think that scooters will have the image of a 12-year-old kid for a very long time, because scootering is, I will admit, scootering is very easy to start out on, and I will 100% agree with that. A lot of kids that are riding scooters will try to argue at that point. Stop. Just don't. We all know scootering is very easy to start. It's super easy to pick up a scooter and push on it, and now, like I said, I agree to that. But it also works in our favor because of the fact that scootering is so easy to start out on, so the fact that there are so many people, so many of these little scooter kids grabbing a scooter and riding it, that kid usually, I mean, he's going to want to stick with scootering because it was easy to start out with. Now that's what he loves to do. He absolutely loves that. And I am totally cool with saying that scootering is easy to start out on. Is it easier than skateboarding later on? No, it's all exactly the same. Skateboarding, I feel like if you're doing a kickflip flat, it is harder than doing a tailwhip flat, of course, but doing a kickflip flat is exactly the same as doing a double tailwhip flat. Difficulty-wise, it's exactly the same. It's just, like, I can tell you right now, a lot of skateboarders cannot 540 when a lot of scooter riders can 540. Now, is a 540 on a skateboard harder than a 540 on a scooter? Yes, but I feel like a 540 on a skateboard is equivalent to a 720 on a scooter. There you go, boom. Now, that's two completely different tricks. Now, that doesn't mean that scootering is now easier than skateboarding, and it doesn't mean that skateboarding is easier than scootering. Like, that just means that there's different tricks that are different difficulty levels, and like a backflip on a scooter is 100% easier on a scooter than it is on a skateboard. But doing a double backflip on a scooter, I would think, is about the same as doing a backflip on a skateboard. It's the exact same confidence level, all that kind of stuff. Now, I could be wrong on that section. I've never done a backflip on a skateboard, but again, I've done kickflips and I've done double flips, and it took me the exact same amount of time to learn. And I think that in perspective, those are difficulty-wise about the same. I'm going to touch back on one more point that I actually already talked about again, just because I do think it is very, very important. If you're watching this video and you're a 16-year-old kid and you do get upset with, now this includes scooter riders, this includes you guys too. Don't think that just because you ride a scooter that you're immune to, no, that's not it. If you're 16 years old and you've ever gotten mad at a kid on a skateboard or a bike or a scooter, I think you guys should listen to this. You got to realize that he's a kid. He's learning. You were there too. And if somebody went up to you and screamed at you, you would probably have gone home crying. I know I went home a couple times crying as a little tiny kid because somebody freaked out on me. And I wasn't even that young. I was like 13 years old, but somebody lost their mind at me once, and I just got so upset and distraught that I just wanted to go home. I rode my scooter home in tears. Don't do that. That's not very cool. I think it makes you look, it makes you look rude, and second of which, excuse my language, it just makes you look like a jackass. It's not cool. I feel very strongly about that, and I've gone up to many people at the skate park prior and said, dude, calm down. They usually understand it kind of quickly because they're like, maybe he is a little bit right, and it's gone the other way. Trust me, it has gone the other way. I've gone to somebody and be like, dude, calm down, he's a little kid. And then they snap back at me with something that usually doesn't make any sense. It's usually defensive because they're just looking pretty dumb, because you start to realize, like, okay, I'm 20 years old and I'm yelling at a 9-year-old kid, and then they look stupid, so they just freak out so they can basically look cool again. Usually it's what's happening. If you guys think any differently about this dilemma, I guess is what you could call it, go down in the comments below. Let me know. I'd love to read about it, and I think that a lot of people that are watching this video can go down and they could read about it, hear about different situations that people have basically experienced and different ways that you guys have handled it. I'd love to hear about it. Maybe you guys know something that I don't know and I could use at the skate park when it comes to an older rider that's freaking out on somebody. And I appreciate you guys watching this video and taking the time out of your day to tune in to my channel. If you guys don't already, make sure you guys do click that subscribe button. Also, turn on your post notifications. And like I said, comment down below your guys' opinions. I'd love to read about them. But until next time, which actually next time you'll see me, I'll be in Oregon. I got to go out there tomorrow. And I'm meeting up with a lot of the guys that are from the Envy team. So you guys will be able to see a couple of the other Envy crew in my future videos, which will be up in the next couple of days. Love you guys. Thanks again for watching. And until next time, I'm out. Later.